Alan Johnston reporting. Now imagine this, a world with no coffee, no oranges, no onions, or tomatoes. Theoretically, that could one day become a reality if the world's bee population continues to decline. Bees don't just make honey, they're essential pollinators for many of the crops that we rely on. But scientists are worried that bees are disappearing at an alarming rate because of intensive farming, pesticides, disease and changing weather patterns. A new report by researchers at the University of Southampton has found that honeybees are also affected by diesel exhaust pollution as it hampers their ability to recognise floral odours. Well, I'm joined by Vanessa Amaral-Rogers from the conservation charity Buglife and Tim Lovett, a keen beekeeper and trustee of the British Beekeepers Association. And welcome to you both. Thank you very much indeed. And I was talking about hampering. We've even got our own hamper here in the studio and a nice Kingham tablecloth as well. So let us get on. How bad is the situation? How much is the bee population declining?
Well, we have a lot of information. We work specifically on wild bees, so it's bumblebees and also what we call solitary bees. And we have data from all across the world, which is sort of painting a fairly worrying picture. For example, in America, there are certain bumblebee species which have declined in numbers by up to 96%, which is horrifying, really. In the EU, we have figures of bee species in general declining by around 40. And earlier this year, there was a report here in the UK which showed that 2 of 3 insects are declining in numbers. So that's not just bees, it's other insects as well. And
Tim, you're a keen beekeeper. Have you noticed this?
Well, the British Beekeepers Association carries out an annual survey monitoring the number of hives that our members have. And we've seen over the last 5 or 6 years losses of as low and as good as 14 or 15% of all hives in the year. But last year, when we had all that awful weather, of course, the never-ending winter, we lost over 30% of our hives.
Yeah, but those were exceptional circumstances when it was an exceptional winter. I mean, people keep wondering whether there is some mysterious thing that is killing all the bees.
I think it's a combination of factors. You know, there's lots of stressors. You mentioned in your introduction that disease, weather, pesticides, all these factors and changing forage availability, all these interact, and if you get enough negatives together in a year, you're in serious trouble.
Right, well, I'm going to open our hamper, and we're not going to have a snack, but we're just going to kind of choose a few things inside it. Right, well, my producers have put in a pizza. What relevance is a pizza?
Well, the pizza is actually quite a nice indicator for the general public. This is an item they know and enjoy, and of course, if we were to lose our pollinators, we could still count on that boring pizza base because grains come from wind pollination. But what we would really lose is olives, the tomatoes, we've got peppers in here, what else? And even cheese. If you've got mozzarella cheese, buffalo should be fed on lucerne, which is a bee-pollinated fodder crop. So even our pizza is at risk.
Right, okay. Let's carry on. This is depressing. Okay, almonds.
Well,
go on.
Yeah.
Go on.
It's a honeybee. It's yeah. Well, with almonds, especially in America, because of the sort of numbers of pollinators that they don't have in an area, they actually have to bring in to California numbers of honeybee hives to be able to populate the almonds. So we wouldn't have these things here.
Okay. Hang on. What have we got here? Juice.
Looks like orange juice.
Looks like orange juice. We've taken the branding off it. This is so BBC. Yeah. Go on. Okay, orange juice.
Well, if I take on from Vanessa's point, in the United States, you get a lot of what's called migratory beekeeping. So beekeepers, commercial beekeepers, go to California and do the almonds, then go to Florida and do the citrus. Yeah. So if we're losing populations, the productivity of the citrus groves drops.
I'm just going to do kind of the other things we've got here. We've got some nice jam. We've got some tomatoes. It's quite a good picnic, this. Well, someone's going to have a good picnic after this programme comes off air. And coffee beans. So come and take us through those ones as well.
I will take the strawberries and tomatoes, which are actually very efficiently pollinated by bumblebees. In fact, they're not done very well by honeybees because you need a special type of pollination. And the bumblebees actually resonate at a particular frequency to get the flower to drop its pollen. So you would lose that as well, unfortunately.
So it's, as Vanessa says, horses for courses. Some of the wild pollinators are much better than honeybees, and honeybees are much better depending on the crop they're pollinating. And coffee beans likewise. You know, if you lose your pollinators, we won't lose all the coffee crop, but it'll be much more expensive every cup we drink.
And chocolate.
And
you
chocolate.
lose chocolate.
Well, that would be serious.
That would be very
now
serious.
you're talking
yeah.
serious stuff. Tim, how is the UK, I mean, am I right in saying that the UK has been dealing with the decline of the bee population rather better and has taken it rather more seriously than some other countries? Is that...
That may be presumptuous to go that far, but we've identified these losses. We were put on alert by the massive losses that Vanessa referred to in the United States, and we started to kick up a bit of a rumpus about it. And gradually, well, of course, now we've reached the position where DEFRA, our Ministry of Agriculture, is taking a serious interest in that, and we may have a pollinator strategy ahead of us.
And Vanessa, the situation was noticed to be so bad in the United States. Has it stabilised? Is it improving?
For data for the United States is showing that it's sort of slowing down the declines, and that's in the EU as well. The declines are sort of gradually reducing, but they're still declining, and so something needs to be done, especially if we want to address the food security risk and feeding our ever-growing population. We need more action.
OK, both of you, thank you very much. Really great of you to come in and taking us through all the different foodstuffs and the role that the bees plays in pollinating all of it. Thank you very much indeed for doing it. Thanks so much.